The the types of
Stop pausing it, dude. Why is it paused?
these creepy videos that left people never feeling the same again. Number 5. I covered Peggy the Headless a while ago, but she is up to new antics at a different location. Really creepy. This cursed doll is to be possessed by the angry spirit of a girl who lost her life during the 1930s. One can appreciate being gawked at by villagers for money as this season video shows. It's that with a random woman as she enters the exhibit. It looks like the woman could have tripped, but look closer. There's no step, nothing to trip over. The floor is even. Her feet are firmly planted on the floor. She goes to lean on the doorway. One hand flies up to her chest, the other grabbing the wall to keep from getting shoved over. Shoving is just one of the many reasons why Peggy can never stay housed in one place for long. Her previous owner, a famous paranormal Jane Harris, shipped the doll all the way from the UK to America because she feared for her life. The doll has been known to cause migraines, heart problems, and lifelong problems in otherwise healthy people. Yes, just looking at her on video is enough to bring a lifetime of bad luck. Peggy now resides in Zach Bagans Haunted Museum in Clark County, Nevada, a place that visitors already expect to be cursed and paranormally pestered anyway. So in this regard, she actually fits right in with the other haunted artifacts. It's not common for the more sensitive of visitors to pass out. This woman drops face first to the ground in front of a wall with her so it's hard to say which one in particular got to her. It's also possible that she psyched herself out and passed out from fear.
I won't do this anyone's stupid. This is a dumb idea.
Zach Bagans notices a mysterious white light fly away like a ghost in retreat. I personally suspect it could be a bug and a coincidence.
I personally suspected that it was a cum shot.
They are being influenced by the abundance of paranormal energy around them. Not too long after the woman passes out, a second man abruptly stiffens up and stares down an employee who is dressed as a clown. She does absolutely nothing to provoke him, but he towers over her for no reason
I would
at
stop.
all.
Your mother's gonna kill you.
Maybe something evil in the room was stirring them all up. Number 4. Connor is an urban explorer from the UK who has been making Urbex videos for over 3 years and has had his share of eerie encounters. The Explorer Returns is the name of his channel, and on it are 2 places in particular that I bet he wished he never stepped foot in. One of them is the Merrick Park Nursing Home. Shut down in 2014, the nursing home became the center of controversy after 2 residents lost their lives due to neglect. An investigation revealed the elderly were being fed medication that was out of date and didn't work. They were also helplessly exposed in cold water baths for prolonged periods of time, and other mistreatments that no one should have to endure. It's pitch black outside when Connor and his friend Daniel find the place, and the inside is just as dark. His flashlight combs across room after room filled with flowers sent by family members who had no idea what miserable conditions their loved ones were being kept in. The doors still have names on them, and the residents seem to respond to having their name read aloud. Connor enters one room and a feeling of intense unease makes him let out an involuntary moan.
What?
A woman's laughter comes from the corner of the room by a pile of her former possessions that are no doubt teeming with energy from her passing. Like I said before, it's only Connor and Daniel, so they shouldn't be hearing any other voices, let alone a laugh like this one. At any rate, the spirits seem relatively friendly until they make a mistake at 2 minutes and 19 seconds by wiping some leaves off of these 2 names with their shoe. They meant no disrespect by the gesture, just the opposite actually, but stepping on the names of those who have passed in their own home is bound not to go over well. After all, these spirits have already experienced enough mistreatment when they were still alive. Connor steps at the doorway of a laundry room lined with someone's clothes. He doesn't notice the arm of the shirt sleeve move on its own. It's probably just a draft from the open window now that I look closer at it, but that still doesn't explain the angry eyes peering at him from within. They somehow miss this and instead focus on something upstairs. The power is off, and yet a strange chime takes them up a floor. The tension grows as they track it from room to room until the source is only a few feet away. They find a motion sensor that stays on for as long as the door remains open. However, it wasn't going off until recently, so that means the door must have just opened when no one was on that floor. It's weird, but they're more relieved it's not an alarm, so they press on to the 3rd floor. Holes in the roof have left some rooms filled with leaves and open to the elements.
I can't find any curse cooking. I can't find a curse YouTube channel. I'll be right back.
Confirmed.
Alright, dude, that's cool.
I gotta take a leak. I'm drinking way too much water.
You're drinking too much water.
I've been drinking lately like 6 liters of water a day.
The door that they had clearly left open at 12 minutes and 50 seconds is now mysteriously closed. Either it has shut on its own, which is certainly possible because it's pretty thin and lightweight, or else something closed it besides them. As they are leaving the Merrick Park nursing home, the camera picks up a final occurrence. Listen. The craziest of all, though, has to be when Connor explores an abandoned asylum at 1 in the morning.
Yes.
Through the woods and under a gate lies the hapless
yeah.
estate, where many were held their entire lives. It takes Connor 8 minutes just to find an unboarded window, and by then he is almost too fearful to venture inside. Aside from the paranormal, this looks to be a possible hangout for tough locals as well. The inside is completely and unnaturally silent. The house doesn't creak, crack, or settle at all.
Yeah, let me just quickly invite a friend from school to the chat. I don't know if he'll get on. He very rarely goes on his PC. If he does, he's just playing Gmod.
Connor keeps hearing things that don't register up on camera, and he suspects that something is in the large room with him. He sets up a K2 meter to detect electromagnetic energy but finds none. He talks out loud to the spirit who apparently isn't there, then gets moving again. Or maybe the spirit was listening close by all along.
Dude, this shit's longer. This shit is bigger than Jake.
When he goes into the next room, he catches on camera a fleeting glimpse of a tall shadow at 12 minutes and 15 seconds. He doesn't see the shadow man in real life, but his equipment certainly does. It's not graffiti either, if that's what you were thinking, because when he comes back downstairs and turns at 17 minutes 4 seconds, the wall it was standing against is clean. It's nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found.
Dude, so
where
one
Connor
wall
left
was
his K2
clean.
meter
That makes
suddenly
it.
experiences
All
odd
of them have
activity as a
gravity
mysterious
except for
white
one
light
of them.
slowly
This
grows
changes everything. Oh, I forgot.
15 minutes and 15 seconds to 16 minutes and 15 seconds.
I need to get a pillow. I don't have a pillow for my bed.
Why do you
I
need
can
a
sleep
pillow,
without one.
None of
dude?
his
You
questions
need a
get
pillow
any
to
I don't need
answers,
it.
and it doesn't seem interested
Yeah,
in
that's why
communicating
you
with
don't
him
need
at
a pillow
all,
to
or
react
at
to
least
this
not as much as
amazing
it wants
fucking
to from a distance.
good shit.
He sets up the K2
What the
meter in another
fuck? Oh my God,
room
this
and
shit
decides if this
filthy.
doesn't work, then he will end the investigation. He doesn't know that he has already caught both a shadow figure
Investigation
and a
ended.
mysterious white light on tape already, and is growing somewhat frustrated. Just when he is ready to give up, the Shadow Man returns. In the cold, he feels him, his 2 eyes looking at him from the doorway where the footsteps just were. The K2 meter still hasn't gone off, but that's because it's not in the room with him. It's clearly waiting just outside.
Whoever made this video and edited it has 2 fucking brain cells. Changed my
Upon
mind.
announcing that this investigation is over, the Shadow Man takes it upon himself to walk into the same room and make itself known.
Hey, it's educational. They're teaching you the colors.
My dad genuinely believes in this shit because he's like a really hardcore
Number
Christian.
3, Dwayne Ragland of New Orleans,
yeah, yeah.
Louisiana.
I would say hardcore,
is the
but
extra-friendly
he
host of the
he is
Paranormal
a bit
Cryptids
religious.
channel on
A little
YouTube.
bit.
He seems to
He
almost
believes in
always
this
be in
shit
a
and
good
he's a
mood
little bit
and isn't
religious.
afraid to joke around with friendly
Yeah.
spirits and talk trash to unfriendly ones.
Fuck yeah,
He knows
dude.
just what to say
knows
to rile
just
them
what to
up,
say.
and then gets them back under control. Take this
I
exploration
miss-
of a local New Orleans church,
I wouldn't
for
say I
example.
miss, I just-
The place is in the early stages
Shit
of
isn't
collapse
fucking-
and rotten down to the foundation.
God.
Ceiling rafters with loose nails hang low.
My fucking
I'd say
lighter
in
doesn't
another
work.
year, any supernatural entities inhabiting this area won't have a
Use
place
your
left
teeth,
to
pussy.
haunt.
What?
His two friends, Alan and Rosie,
Use
have been
your
here
teeth.
once before and know exactly where to look. There's a
Dude,
back
it's not
room
fucking
where they
working,
heard a
bro.
demon growl before, so that's
Yeah,
where
I
Dwayne
don't
begins
think
his
that's gonna
journey.
work.
He doesn't see anything, but I do.
Oh, find a place to sit up.
I know one way to do it. Use your stove.
Gary. Oh, he found some fucking hole in the wall. That's cool.
Wow, no season.
It's a demonic little figure with a tuft of black hair, swaddled in brown robes, that dips in and out of the shadows.
Yeah.
When they go back
cool.
into the main room, Alan has a
Dude,
camera
I bet when he comes
malfunction.
back, it'll
My
still
camera
work.
just shut off.
I believe.
It's a brand new battery. I know, we charged them all. And my battery's brand new right now.
Sometimes this guy just blatantly mistakes like normal human behavior as just paranormal.
Entirely accurate.
Hey, this is a
Dwayne
reaction
gets an
video, we're
answer
not
on the
supposed to
first
speak.
try.
Does anybody want to talk?
Soon a woman steps forward to chat, but right before he can get her
See if
name,
my lighter
Anybody
works
want to
again.
talk?
Shit, it's not.
Hi.
It's not letting
What's
me
your
use
name?
it. What a nigga.
something else
Nigga,
interrupts
nigga.
her.
Oh, there's another face.
A presence
God.
named Pete who doesn't want anything to do with them,
Anybody want help?
and whose disagreeable attitude seems to persuade the other one to follow suit.
Hello, y'all want to play? You know? Are you scared?
I swear, my mother only
Listen to what
wakes up when I
happens when
speak
Dwayne
loud on my
asks the spirit if
streams.
they're mad.
It's like
Don't
3 in
listen
the
to the
fucking
spirit
morning.
box.
No, it's
Listen to the
2:30.
background.
Are you mad?
Oh my
Kinda.
god, the background.
Two voices talk to Dwayne the whole time. Pete and the girl with no name. Dwayne gets them riled up for a few minutes, encouraging them to taunt him more and more. He's talking about how he hopes he doesn't step on a nail.
Poor
When finally the
fucking
spirits
dog,
have had
dude.
enough and decide to send him to the floor.
I dare step on
He's going to
nail.
jump on the ground.
Might possibly lose a foot or a leg.
Alright, bro.
Whoa. Yeah, forgive.
Pete says, break, break, moments
Hey, you
before
wanna
the
use
floor
your
gives
fucking-
way.
Motherfucker's
When Dwayne
300
gets up, the man
pounds.
and
What do you
woman
mean
mock
the
his
floor
shortness of breath.
breaks and you're
What's that
surprised?
seed inside this? Something fell inside my harmonica, dude. Let me just use a pencil
Bro, I'm
to
getting
get that out of
You okay?
So he's
Ah, there
either
we
continuing to get messed up with their two presences here, or else he
yeah,
stood
hell
up
yeah,
too
that's
fast and is getting a head rush.
Now that
My
sounds
head feels
fucking
like a
little
needle
bit. Right now I have
sticking in
another
it,
one stuck
all
in
on my
there.
forehead. Alright. Damon, why don't you? No.
Alright.
Guys got pushed.
Shortly after he gets pushed, his dog senses something and
nice.
cowers behind Rosie, clearly ready to leave. They decide to leave before it brings the whole building down on them and go
Oh
over
my
to the
God.
graveyard nearby.
What's wrong with this
Pete follows and lets
thing?
Dwayne know it's not over yet.
Hi.
No, yeah, it's
Yeah.
not working, bro.
Alan and Rosie. Bruh. I ain't never come so close to falling so many
Dude, we're on
times.
hit
Just
number
a-
3.
a
What the
few
fuck
minutes.
are they doing, dude? This shit's just
A few
slow.
minutes later, they all agree it's time to go. It's the right decision in my opinion.
In my
Number
opinion.
2, Shadow
Dude, his
Hunters
fucking
Paranormal
opinion, I'm sure we all give a
Investigations,
shit
led by
about it.
Nick Sarlo, is an underground society with 15 years of experience hunting spirits in and around Lake County, Illinois. Nick had his first paranormal experience at the age of 17
What,
and
do I
formed
have
the
a
Shadow
fucking
Hunters
banana
as a
head?
way to
Get the
better
fuck outta
understand
here,
it.
dude.
Don't fear what you can't see is their motto. On October 11th, 2016, the Shadow Hunters took to the Pollock Hospital in Bartonville, a medical building with no terrible stories of neglectful
hopefully they should
management to
actually
speak
fucking
of for a
work
pleasant
stuff.
change. The patients were actually given the best treatments available, and somehow that's what makes its history even sadder. You see, even though the nurses were doing all they could,
God.
the hospital was built in 1949.
Oh.
The sheer number of patients who lost their lives in pure misery virtually
I fucking
guaranteed
hate
the
this
building
fucking
would be
night.
haunted forevermore. No less than 4 cemeteries now surround the property. That's how many lives were lost. The hospital shuttered its doors in 1973,
Wait, what the
but
fuck
some
happened to my
supernatural
fan?
odds and ends are said to still roam
Yeah.
the hospital halls, unaware that their allotted time on Earth expired long ago. The Shadow Hunters now hope to respectfully document their presence. Nick and his team head to a section of the women's ward where patients with no chance of surviving were sent to pass. In this room is a ghost with a penchant for grabbing
Yeah,
men, so
I'm
they
sure
set up
they
motion
never brought the
sensors
camera back
and line up
either.
2
That's how he got the
volunteers.
film.
It
He
isn't
just
long
didn't
before
get
Nick
it.
is having trouble finishing his sentence because of how he is being handled.
I'm not kidding me. I'm not kidding. She's touching right now.
The K2 meter does detect
Yo,
electromagnetic
corny
activity.
ghost.
When Terry holds it to where Nick says that he is being grabbed, it could be simply detecting the electromagnetic activity of a cell phone in his pocket, if he has one. But at the same time, it does back up his claims that a ghost is near. Also, look what happens when Nick wants to show if anyone else
Oh,
is
dude,
in the
he's
room
got
with
some
them.
backup right there. Oh my god. It points down to who? To the camera.
A big wooden spool rolls towards Nick with a forward momentum generated from nowhere.
Horny
Suddenly,
ghost.
Nick steps
Horny
back,
ghost.
to them that the ghost has
Horny
hit.
ghost.
That's right.
Later that day, they leave to explore the nearby 4 cemeteries, but not before setting up cameras around
Horny
the Pollock
ghosts.
Hospital first, and wait until you see what happens around this
Let me guess,
area.
it's scary glow thingy.
Hell yeah, dude.
They
It's
claim
Helen
nobody is
Keller's
down there, but
ghost.
something definitely
She's
was messing
going
with the
to-
camera, ghost or otherwise. The next night, they get a spirit to spin atop for exactly 20 seconds before it turns over. A rocking chair
Okay.
moves by itself despite the
Alright,
fact that
that's
Terry's
so-
arms are crossed. Nick's hands are in his lap, and their
What
feet
the
are
fuck
too
would that
far
have to do
away.
with the-
I suppose
Yeah,
a third
what the
investigator
fuck?
could be laying on
You
the
can't
floor to
rock a
create
chair
this
with your arms
illusion.
crossed?
So it's too bad
With
we
your
never get
arms
to see
crossed,
all
dude,
of the
you got
rocking
that
chair to
wrong.
make
Let's
sure.
watch this again,
Anyway,
dude.
after
We can't
catching
get
so
any-
many paranormal
I
events
can't,
on
I don't give a
camera,
shit.
it should come as no surprise that Nick's home has inevitably become haunted over the
fuck is
years.
this shit?
Something lurks in the surrounding woods too, something that makes people feel sick and watched at the same time. A shadow figure that they have taken a picture of once before and hope
Not
to
a
capture on
tree,
video
guys.
tonight for
It's-
better evidence. On
Better
November
evidence.
9th,
Hell yeah,
2019,
dude.
they decide to confront it once and for all. They return to the same area of the woods and detect nothing. So then they sit at the playground at the outskirts of the woods and wait.
Sorry, I'm not watching
A
right now.
strange feeling soon washes over them and they know it's near. They play back digital voice recordings of themselves and hear something that does not belong.
Cars going by. On the playground is where the shadow figure.
Okay, that was not me.
They think it says fire, but I hear a girl whisper, "Find me." Then it says exactly where to look. Right about when
Shut
this
the
happens,
fuck
the faintest of shadows passes by Ashley's hand, change in the light.
That
That's
looks like
almost
some
imperceptible.
80s.
You already
Okay,
know
that's
where to
fucking
look.
good.
Don't be disappointed if you still can't see it, and please consider yourself lucky. I've got a challenge for you.
Yeah, that's it. That's the rest of the video.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's the rest of the video.
Alright, dude. That sounds pretty fucking
That's this is
fire, bro.
Instagram's promotion or us.
Alright, dude. Well, hopefully y'all enjoyed this
Find your
reaction
channel anymore.
video.
Did your
Niggas.
channel